Hi guys, we are working today on page 228 in your textbook. I'm just helping you guys do the corrections that we didn't get to in class of 17, 18, 19, and 20 of our practice 7.2. So I'm going to get some scratch paper here. And we're going to start with number 17. Remember, hopefully you guys wrote down your order of operations in your composition book so that you can remember what order, because that's going to be the most important thing here. So if we're remembering that order, the very first thing we do on number 17, I wrote the problem out here, and the very first thing that we're going to do is we are going to do our parentheses. So all of our parentheses, first actually we need to, it says in our book that x equals 3. So we just need to go through and put all of our x's, these 3 x's we have, we're going to put a 3 there because that's what it tells us to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Go 5. We're going to rewrite the whole problem, and please always rewrite the whole problem because it's going to help your brain not get as confused. Also, it's showing your work, so you will get credit for it because you're showing your work. So I am just writing in for all of our x's, our 3 x's here, I'm putting a number 3 in because that's what it says in our book, that x is equal to. So if we do that, it should look something like this. And then if we go ahead and do all of those problems doing our parentheses first, we're going to say 3 plus 2 is 6. So I'm rewriting the problem. Keep my parentheses there so I know it's multiplication, plus 2, and then 6 take away 3 is going to be 3, so I put my parentheses around there. Then I'm going to add, and right up here my 3 that I put in there, I'm going to go ahead and do that multiplication because I can't divide. Remember we talked about this. Normally multiplication and division are actually equal, so what we're going to do is do our multiplication, which will make that 6, and then I put in my plus 3 over 3. Now we can just go ahead and do all of these parentheses. We're going to do 5 times 6 because that's what this parentheses means here. 5 times 6 is going to be 30. Then I'm going to add 2, or I'm sorry, I just caught myself. 5 times 6 is 30, correct. But this should actually be 5. I am so sorry. I can't even do my addition. 3 plus 2, I was thinking 3 times 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. So then it would actually be 25 because 5 times 5 is 25. I add my plus 2, but I'm not going to do it yet because I still have some other functions I need to do over here. 2 times 3 is one that I need to do, so that's going to equal 6, and then plus, and since I don't know which number I can divide it by, I need to do my addition. So 6 plus 3 is 9, and then it'll be over 3. So hopefully you can look and see that I've just kind of done all of the parentheses here. The multiplication equals 25, multiplication here equals 6. Then I added these for the division. Now I can go through and say 25 plus 6 is 31. And I can say 3 divided by 9 is 3. So I just do plus 3 because this was my addition here. And 31 plus 3 now is 34. And that's my answer. So let's go ahead and do number 18 together as well. Okay, for number 18, we're going to go ahead and write our problem, and again, x is equal to 3. So when I rewrite my problem, I'm just going to put a 3 wherever there's an x. So make sure you're writing this, and because it just has a x there, I'm going to put parentheses around it to remind me that I need to times that, because whenever there's a variable right next to a number, it just means you need to times it. So let's go ahead and put our parentheses around that. We'll put our 3 in there, and then the next thing is take away 3. All of this is over 4 plus, and then we put 5 in our parentheses, 3 instead of an x, and put it all over 8. And then we're going to do 3, 13, take away 2, and I'm going to put a little times there. And this time I'm going to use a little dot for times. Remember, we can use those things and put a 3 there just so I don't get confused since it's the end of a parenthesis there. So let's go ahead and start doing with our order of operations. our parentheses first. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite. Start with my parentheses over here, starting right here, because remember we always move from left to right whenever we're doing our order of operations. So 5 times 3 is going to be 15, and I just put in my takeaway 3 there, put it all over 4. Then I'm going to add and do my parentheses here. 3 plus 5 is 8, and I'm going to put my 5 there and just save my parentheses so that I remember it's multiplication. Put it all over 8. Then I'm going to add 3, and in my parentheses I'm going to do the work multiplication first for our order of operation is 6, and I put my 13 there. So now I just need to go through and do anything with parentheses again. So we'll do 15, and actually I can even do that right now. 15 take away 3 is 12, and I'll put it over 4. So I'm just taking each group and I'm simplifying the part I can with my order of operations. 5 times 8 is going to be 40 over 8 plus, and I do what's in my parentheses, 6 take away, or 13 take away 6 is going to be 7. So I'll go 3, keep my parentheses there. Now I just need to go do that again. I need to do my division and my multiplication. So I will go 4 into 12 is going to equal 3, plus 8 into 40 is going to equal 5, plus 3 times 7 is 21. Now I could just go ahead and add all those together. 3 plus 5 is 8, and that'll be plus 21. 8 plus 21 is 29, which is your answer. Let's go ahead and do number 19 together. Okay, number 19 here. Let's go ahead, and we are still on where it says x equals 3. So let's go ahead and first of all write down for every x here I'm going to write a 3. So 2, and we'll put our parentheses to remember that it's times, plus 4 all over 5. Then we are taking away, and I put a 3 in for my x there, plus 1 all over 4. Then plus, put a 3 in for that x over 6. So I first need to do parentheses here. Let's go over here, and we will go 2 times 3 is 6, plus 4 all over 5. Then no more parentheses, so I'll just go ahead, and normally division would come first, but since I don't know which one of these to divide it to, I'm going to have to add them so that I can divide them. So let's go ahead and go 3 plus 1 is 4 over 4. And then we'll just go ahead and rewrite our 3 divided by 6. Now we need to go through, and again, since I don't know which one of these that I'm going to be able to divide it by, I can add those together, and 6 plus 4 is 10. So let's just rewrite all this, and now I can just go through and do my division. So 5 divided by 10 is 2. Take away 4 into 4 is 1, right? Because if I have a pie divided into 4 pieces and all 4 pieces are still there, it equals 1 whole pie. And 6 into 3 is 2 again. So we're going to go 2 take away 1 equals 1, and then I'm going to add my 2 there, and 1 plus 2 is 3, which should be my answer. So actually, let's go. Sorry, I just found a mistake. You guys because these are all very complicated, you guys probably had the same thing happen where if you make one mistake, it makes your answer wrong. And since you guys probably figured out on your answer sheet, the answer is actually not 3, it's 1.5. And so I figured out what I did wrong up here. I did 3 into 6, but actually 6 divided into 3 would actually be a half, right? Because my top number goes in the house first, so if I actually did that, it would be like this, and then it would be 6 goes into 3 0 times, so I need to take it down, and if I did all that division either on my calculator or long division, it would come out to a half, or 0.5. So then I would go down here and I would need to redo these. So let's fix that. So the answer would be 5 into 10 is still 2, and this is still 1, 4 into 4, but then this would actually be 1/2, or 0.5 if you used a calculator. 2 take away 1, and it would be would still equal 1, but then I would be plussing 1/2 right here, which would then equal my answer as 1/2. Hopefully I didn't confuse you because I made a little mistake up here, but that's the wonderful thing about having the answers. You can go back and change it. So let's do our very last one, number 20. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in, and because it still says x is equal to 3, I'm going to go change all 3 of my x's to 3. So 7, and I'm going to put my 3 in parentheses for this x so I don't forget its times, and I'll put 3 over 5, then plus 7, take away 3 for that x there, and it's going to be over 9, and we're going to go ahead and do our parentheses first. 7 and 3 is going to be 21. Take away 3 over 5. And I'll go ahead and, since I don't know which one to divide these two by here, I will have to do my subtraction. So 7 take away 3 is going to be 4 over 9. And so we are going to go ahead and go back and then do our division, so that we can make sure we have the right things here. And on this one, I actually am going to, I think the answer is incorrect. So the answer is going to be 20, and I'll show you how that actually works. So some of you guys were coming up with decimal points today when we were doing your problems, but I want you guys to understand, if you're going to use a calculator and use decimal points, you need to convert it to a fraction so that the answer stays the same, because that's really going to mess you up in your algebra problems. So if we're using our order of operations, we do our division first here, and if I have 3 goes into my calculator first. If you're going to use your calculator, I'll do it that way as long as, so that I can show you how to convert it to a fraction. So essentially what you're going to do is put 3 in your calculator first because it's the top dog, and if you go 3 divided by 5, it's going to come out to 0.6 or 0.6. Same thing with if you do this one, 9 into 4, if you put 4 in your calculator first because it's the top dog, it's going to come out to 0.4 or 0.4. So if you do that in your calculator, this might be part of what was messing you up, then you need to convert those into fractions. Well, we know from our unit on decimals and fractions that in order to convert that, I need to figure out what place is it in. Is it in the tenths, the hundredths, the thousandths? Well, both of these are in the tenths place, so I can just write it as a fraction with 6 over 10, 4 over 10. So if we do that, if you guys did it in your calculator and it came out to that, if it's in the tenths place, which both of these are tenths, then it goes over 10 because it's showing divided into 10 parts, tenths. So this is what we're going to have then, is we're going to put our addition here from up here and 21 over here with our subtraction sign. So what we need to do first is, if we're going to add these together, remember when we add fractions, the denominator has to be the same. Both of these are. So then we just go 6 plus 4, which is going to come out to 10. 10 over 10 just equals 1. So this is just going to be equal to 1. So then I can go back and rewrite 21 take away 1, and it's going to equal 20 is going to be my final answer. So hopefully you guys got that. You guys need to remember when you do fractions, if you use your calculator, that you convert them back into fractions, because your calculator is going to give you a decimal. So make sure if you want to do that, instead of doing your long division, you're going to have to convert it back into fraction to finish your problem. So hopefully you guys got that as an answer. And if you have any other questions, let me know. And we will see you guys tomorrow with your corrections and your assignment of worksheet 7.2. Have a great night.